Hey, bro.
Huh?
Let me ask you a question, man. Why you ain't change clothes, bro?
Let me ask you a question. Every time you see me, you gotta ask me a question like you 50 Cent asking people 21 questions.
But, bro, you gotta have some hygiene.
Let me ask you, did you take a bath last night?
Of course, and that's what I'm telling you, man. You gotta have some hygiene,
well,
man.
Congratulations, because I'm homeless and now I have the luxury to take a bath every night and wash clothes like that. So be grateful for what you got and stop always talking about people and stuff. That's what's wrong with people. They always talking about people instead of trying to help them and stuff. Just thank God that you able to take a bath and change your clothes every night. I might have them on the next day and the next day and the next day. That's between me and God. You worry about yourself. Any more questions?
You good,
Oh,
bro.
all right, that one I thought. Have a blessed day.
What you are looking at is a monument to Wade Hampton. Wade Hampton was one of the largest enslavers in the state of South Carolina, which was one of the largest slave-holding states. And yet, here on the Capitol grounds, there is a monument to him. If South Carolina wants to recognize and remember this period of history, then it is incumbent upon South Carolina and the United States as a whole to repair the damage that has come from this period in history. At the end of the Civil War, Black Americans who are descendants of American slaves, legislatively called freemen, were supposed to receive their 40 acres in a mule, and that never happened. Instead, they saw their black Wall Streets burnt to the ground. They experienced Jim Crow, they experienced redlining, which robbed them of billions in dollars of wealth. In order for America to heal, Black America has to be repaired. I am running to repair Black America because until we all stand, we all have fallen.
Tired of being censored on social media? Join 60s.net. It's black owned, black operated, and black moderated, and we make sure it stays a safe space for us to talk about all things black culture. We also got some cool gear like the FDM cotton crew neck, the Fearless Ancestors tee, hats, and more. Check us out at 60s.net.
Hey girl, why are you so sad?
I just got banned from Twitter again.
Should have been on 60s.net. Ah.
All right. Welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official show. I am your host, beatzillapdx officially. And we are here once again for the midweek report. And let's see, get this off my screen here. Hopefully everybody is doing good. As you're coming in, please like and share. Please like and share. And this is, of course, the live broadcast. If you had caught my earlier broadcast I uploaded earlier, those are the news briefs that I told you I would be starting the shorter videos. And so for more of the stories that I probably would not normally get to on this broadcast and the Friday broadcast, I'll be doing the smaller, shorter pieces for those. So yes. Let me see who we got in here. Let me get this panel on screen. Get that going. So let's see. And if anyone is wondering if you're like not already subscribed and wondering why you cannot access the chat, well, if you subscribe to this broadcast, then you will be able to access the chat and participate. So do that now and hit the all button so you'll be notified anytime this broadcast goes live or uploads a video. So let's see what we got here. Nikki the God, Chief Moderator in the house. Judah Queen, Silent D. Black Magic, Tasha Peters, TJ, Tanya Zion, Victor Costin. Welcome. Peace, everybody. All right. So as we are coming in, I want to first hit this little quick story that I don't have anything on the screen for it. So bear with me as I read this crazy story, because this is about, and I'm sure you guys have heard about this story out of Tennessee that's going on with this politician trying to, says, this is from Newsweek. Tennessee GOP proposes bill eliminating age requirements for marriage. What a time we live in, right? Let me turn it down. Okay. Oh, you know what? There is audio for this. So let me try this. There is actually audio for this video. Let me see if I can get this cracking. See if we can hear that. If it's going to play.
Just a quick word from our sponsor.
Okay. Quick word from their sponsor. We'll wait for that. In the meantime, hit that like button. Damn, it's a long commercial. Eat and play combo. Yeah, how about that? Lord. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go.
Other restrictions apply. See store for details.
Oh, Lord.
Tennessee GOP proposes bill eliminating age requirements for marriage. Tennessee Republicans are moving forward with a bill that would eliminate age requirements for marriage in the state. The bill, HB 233, is scheduled to be heard in the House Civil Justice Committee on Wednesday and would establish common law marriage between one man and one woman, but it does not include a minimum age requirement. Opponents of the bill said it could open up the possibility of child marriages. The current age for marriage in the state is 17 with parental consent, according to WKRN. So, all this bill does is give an alternative form of marriage for those pastors and other individuals who have a conscientious objection to the current pathway to marriage in our law. The bill's sponsor, Republican Representative Tom Leatherwood, was quoted by WKRN. There is no federal legislation in the United States regarding the minimum age for marriage, and states are allowed to set their own parameters. Currently, child marriage is legal in 44 states, and nearly 300,000 children were married between 2000 and 2018 across the country, according to United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. Democratic Representative Mike Stewart, who is on the subcommittee that passed the bill, said since there is no explicit age limit on the legislation, it could open up the possibility of covering up child abuse, WKRN reported. It should not be there, as it's basically a get-out-of-jail-free card for people who are basically committing statutory rape. I mean, it's completely ridiculous, so that's another reason why this terrible bill should be eliminated, Stewart said. The UN defines child marriage as any marriage where at least one of the parties involved is under 18 years old. The organization says 1 in every 5 girls gets married before becoming an adult. At least 12 million girls get married every year, and more than 650 million women around the world today were married as children, according to the organization. Frontline data shows girls are more likely to get married than boys while still minors. Between 2000 and 2015, almost 90% of children who got married were girls, and most were 16 or 17 years old. Children as young as 12 have been granted marriage licenses in South Carolina, Alaska, and Louisiana, while 13-year-olds have been married in 14 states. In the U.S., 44 states legally allow child marriages, while the Philippines banned the practice in December. Only 6 states have banned child marriage, including Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and New York. Newsweek reached out to Leatherwood for comment but did not hear back by publication. Update April 5, 2022, 12:30 p.m. ET. This article was updated with additional information.
Uh-oh. Wow. Okay. I didn't realize so much child marriage was going on in America. You know, because we always often hear this about other countries. Most recently, though, the odd thing is we're kind of hearing it come up about this judgeship situation. And like in classic fashion, anytime they want to start ushering in something, they'll mask it under something that they can shame someone under. Here's the problem that they're having with Ketanji Brown Jackson. Black folks ain't backing her. So she has to pretty much figure out where she fits all on her own, because we ain't fooling with her like that. Simple as that. Okay, so y'all see where we're going tonight. And actually, you know, I actually stumbled across something which will be the final piece that I end on, because it's actually a very eye-opening video. And it kind of clears things up about any questions people might have about the whole CRT thing. Also, something else as I was listening to that interview, something just to think about. With all the discussions that have been had over the course of the last weeks, months, you know, online, right here, Twitter, the reparations move in California, making sure it's setting the president, you know, because it is literally about lineage. So now, even the argument about what you will call yourself is kind of rendered on a low level of validity now, since we were able to get the understanding and the wording of the language of lineage. It's no longer about race. So it really wouldn't even be coming down to what your particular racial classification would be. So because it's a lineage issue, it totally wipes that off right off the rip. And because they've already haven't proven before doing it to the Japanese, how they just delineated between which Japanese Americans would get reparations for the internment camps and which wouldn't. So there's already a blueprint there. So what we're seeing is persistence will prove results. But you have to have the people in place that really are about enacting change versus the people who are put in place by the powers that be that say they are for us and have now proven they are not. You know what I mean? So as we have a month right now of April called New Black Media Appreciation Month, this is something that it's not just about the people on platforms, but it is also about all of the people who support them. So from the voices of New Black Media down to every last subscriber and even to the ghost watchers. Because this powerful message is going across all of these different platforms, it sets the tone to let the world know that, this whole next election cycle is going to start looking it's already looking different. I mean, we're seeing them roll out Obama early. What did I tell y'all last week? See, they never thought they would have to spend this much money on a midterm election. Well, it's kind of early to be bringing out Obama, isn't it? Just for Obamacare? We're just going to extend this. This just says, this early in Joe Biden's candidacy, or in his presidency, rather, his proven failure amongst his own voter base is evident in their disapproval of him. I mean, so with us, we wasn't rocking with him to start with. We were no tangibles, no vote. Well, now that crowd now looks like it has great potential to be much larger starting in 2022. Now imagine if you do not get tangibles for us by 2024. It's looking real grim. It's looking really grim. It's time to, when you say, hey, I'm gonna tell, I got your back. Well, now is the time to show and prove. I mean, because you've done so much over so many years. Like, this is just one act. You're still trying to fight this on your way out? I guess. But let that be a lesson to how he feel about you, Black America. Oh, yeah, I can't. Welcome. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let that be a lesson to how he really, truly feels about us. Not as we didn't already know. Hey, Monica. You know what I'm saying? Roderick Allen, welcome. So, hey, let's see here. So, look, the next thing I want to touch, let me get off the screen. And I got a few things to play because as I'm looking overall at everything that I'm seeing right now, it just seems like everything is too lined up perfect. Will Smith is the world's face of violence right now, while you got a whole group of neo-Nazis over there they send a buku money to, while steadily telling everybody that every day how much they're winning. They're winning so much that they're already figuring out how they're going to get to America because they're winning so much. The evidence of winning is fleeing to a whole nother continent. Boy, man, I'm telling you, that is some courage, isn't it? Yeah. So in the world of empty promises that I hope all black Biden voters have finally figured out, you couldn't even get a George Floyd bill passed. Why couldn't that happen? I'll tell you why, because you voted for nothing. And now we are sitting looking smack dab facing a whole nother situation. And a large part of this is because of y'all now went right back to sleep. There is no reason to punish the police now, thanks to y'all. So, with that being said, our dear brother Amir Locke out of Minnesota, who was asleep on a couch and deadly ambushed by race soldiers and executed Johnny on the spot. No charges will be levied, I guess. And you know, it always lets you know, take you back to Derek Chauvin. Because imagine that. Minnesota, same DA, who needed to get all of that pressure just to sit up there and push them charges. I mean, because for who remembers, he was definitely trying to twiddle his thumbs before he actually had to put charges on Derek Chauvin and the rest of them. Now their whole show just went straight down the tubes. And this same Negro is right back up here doing it again. So, yeah, here's this story, family. And black Biden voters, we should have a law by now protecting us. But this is what you voted for.
Right, as you mentioned, family very upset. Also, community members.
In Minneapolis, no charges will be filed against the police officer who shot and killed Amir Locke while carrying out a no-knock warrant in February. The case drew massive protests. Tonight, the family outraged. Here's Miguel Almaguer when we have to warn you, some of the video is disturbing.
After police quietly unlocked this Minneapolis apartment, then startled and killed Amir Locke, who was under a blanket sleeping on a couch and reached for his gun. Today, state officials announced the officer who fired his weapon, Mark Hanneman, will face no criminal charges.
To charge a case like this would simply be wrong.
After a 2-month review and now the promised release of all body cameras, including Hanneman's, investigators say the officer followed the law after video shows Locke holding his registered gun aimed toward Hanneman, though his finger was not on the trigger. Hanneman told investigators, "I felt if I did not use deadly force, I would likely be killed."
It would be unethical for us to file charges in a case in which we know that we will not be able to prevail.
As protests erupted after the shooting, police came under intense scrutiny for killing the 22-year-old, who was not a suspect in their case, while executing a no-knock warrant, a practice now banned in the city.
This is not over. You may have been found not guilty, but in the eyes of me, being the mother who I am, you are guilty.
Calling his killing an execution, Locke's family, who is still pursuing a civil case, says what happened today is just another police cover-up. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading.
All right. So the family had, and this next little clip I'm going to show you got a little more of what the family has to say. So I'm going to get right into that. Tara.
Right, as you mentioned, family very upset. Also, community members rallied and protesting here behind me just a short while ago. But Amir Locke's mom, Karen Wells, very passionate, very angry about the decision not to charge the police officer who shot and killed her son.
The spirit of my baby is going to haunt you for the rest of your life.
Karen Wells, Amir Locke's mother, fired up and angry after learning the Minneapolis police officer who killed her son will not be charged with a crime.
I am not disappointed. I am disgusted with the city of Minneapolis. Very disgusted.
Wells was in New York City with attorney Ben Crump and Reverend Al Sharpton for a conference when she got word of the decision. She said today she believes racism played a role in Officer Mark Hanneman's shooting Locke.
So maybe if it was a little lighter melanin, maybe they would have gave him a de-escalation stages of a chance to drop the weapon. But you had enough time before my baby went and reached for his weapon.
Although not verified, Locke's family says their son had a permit to carry and had the gun he reached for to protect himself from the rising violence in Minneapolis. Wells using the moment to take a shot at Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey.
My son was protecting himself, thinking he had to protect himself from all the crime that is out of control, Mayor Frey, the mayor of Minneapolis, that you can't control.
Locke was killed while SWAT members executed a no-knock warrant. Attorney Ben Crump also going after Frey for claiming that he banned no-knock warrants when he did not.
I think when they say they have policies, that they should follow the policies. There shouldn't have been any no-knock warrants being executed.
Even with today's decision, Karen Wells says this isn't over and vowed that she would not just quietly go away.
We're coming. We're coming full force. And I'm not going to stop racing this race and running the race until I cross that finish line.
Now, Mayor Frey releasing a statement saying, in part, addressing the challenges in criminal justice and safety requires a shared resolve to continuous change and improvement. That conviction will continue guiding the city of Minneapolis moving forward. Now, it's important to note Mayor Frey did, in fact, ban no-knock warrants starting this Friday. Instead, police officers will be forced to go with a knock and announce before crossing that threshold. We're live in Minneapolis. Karen Scullin, Fox 9.
And late this afternoon, Interim Police Chief Amelia Huffman releasing a statement on today's decision. It says, in part, we recognize the deep loss felt by Amir Locke's family and those who loved and knew him best, as well as the profound grief in our community. Officers never want to face split-second decisions that end in the loss of life. It is vitally important that the department provide the training, equipment, and policy support necessary for them to carry out their work, mitigating the risks to community members and officers.
Wow. Wow. I mean, that's insane, family. That is insane. And I look at it like, well, we should be hearing some Congressional Black Caucus talkers, somebody saying something, right? They're over here talking about how racial people are being about Ketanji Brown Jackson, who has already showed her anti-blackness against her own people. Insane. Okay. This is what else I need to get to next. So we're going to hit a couple things, because what we really have going on is more or less a day of reckoning. And so let me put this on your mind. Imagine we come to this country, or those who are in this country, as freedmen, snatched off of our free land, put in chains, thrown into hundreds of years of captivity, along with everyone else who came here, which makes us all one big family right now as the descendants of American chattel slavery. foundational Black Americans, whatever you want to call us, but our lineage is now solidified. So with that being said, what was everybody else in the world doing that they don't know exactly who we are today? You notice everybody play dumb? Oh, we really didn't know. Oh, no, you knew. Because when you were over in that country, how did you know that there was something to come to now? But there wasn't nothing then. Now you go take a look over there, over in Europe, Turkey, and Sicily, and Venice, and all of that. All of that stuff was built by Moors. That's why all of them windows and all of that stuff has arches. Well, all of those people knew who was over there. Where'd them people go? See, they act like these magical Black people suddenly just disappeared off the face of the earth, and then these magically stupid monkey-like creatures popped up instead. And no, see, those other smart architectural mathematics teachers of the world and societies, those people just magically disappeared, and we just appeared in the jungles of Africa out of nowhere. No explanation, I guess. We just held for monkeys, So we were in a tree swinging like Tarzan, and they found us and rescued us and brought us here to build America. So much so that you have people coming up in these spaces talking crazy. See, one thing, when I hear a lot of people talk about how foundational Black Americans are divisive, you are out of your mind. The only appearance, see, here's what happens. Foundational Black American men are stronger than every other melanated man you will see. So when we put the hammer down, it just looks like we're bullies. But no, you have this soft, handshake individual coming to a real man talking about what we are. Well, then they get G-checked. That has nothing to do about being divisive. See, everybody seems to miss when these people come in with this real slick mouth. And then they get checked and it's like, oh, you guys are divisive. No. First off, you came in here with this condescending tone like we were beneath you. Regardless if you want to look at our ancestors of slaves or not, your dusty ass is sitting where they built it. So the truth of the matter is the bloodline I'm from clearly does a little different than yours because you had to come to where my ancestors built, not the other way around. And with that being said, we do not have to share no slice of that pie with no one. Now, we don't stand in the way of anybody else from getting theirs. The only reason, and now, by the way, because a lot of people blame other people for stuff. As far as I don't know anybody else who made a broadcast before me about closing FBA. Anybody remember that last October? Now, here's what happens. People don't like people. So they'll be like, oh, okay, I could do that. And so the conversation gets detoured. And so one thing gets highlighted over the other. One thing is for certain now that we do not have to no longer argue about. Our reparations claim here is based on lineage. No question, hands down. Now, see, look at, you have the video that just surfaced about Ed Gordon and Joe Biden. And he over there, well, I ain't going to say, reparations. We have to first talk about if it's going to include Native Americans. Well, now you know, Joe, it ain't. Hell no. We got a piece of that casino. I mean, I got Cherokee blood running through the shades of my skin and color of my hair. And y'all, immediately when my grandfather came out, born on y'all reservation, Negro. So kiss my ass, all this other, no. Y'all know what you did. That's what I'm telling you. when you were coming here getting your ass whipped all these years, what was everybody else doing that now comes here to enjoy off of your ancestors' labor? So always keep that in mind, especially when people like myself, I'm well aware of what they think about us worldwide. Now, it's cool because, see, here's the thing. As a man, I will tell you the true test about when people fool with your culture is how they interact with your men. You cannot judge anyone based on how they interact with a woman. That's foolish, y'all, because I see this happen an awful lot because women will put these tags on men that really do not belong there. I'm a man, and I got a track record. People can sit up here and say, yeah, I know, dude. That is a track record of manhood and manliness amongst other strong men individuals. And that's from place to place, state to state, continent to continent. That's what you do when you keep your name good. But that's also what you do when you active at this movement. So I do get, like, a lot of people are starting to now come in, like, y'all 2010ers and up. You know, I get it. And especially for the 2020s and up. Ooh, boy, I see y'all just cracking the egg and y'all just see like, oh, man, I see the track in front of me and I got to run as fast as I can. Slow down, boy. Or you'll burn yourself out. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm just saying that to say we have to be mindful of all the weapons of attack against us. And who has actually supported our demise. No one came to come talk to us. No one came looking for us. No one came waging war on America for us. Ask me who we owe about the damn country our ancestors built. How the hell can we be divisive when these people were never with us? Why do you think they come here and identify as white? Yeah, they're melanated. They know they ain't us, and they know we ain't them. Y'all need to get that through your head. They're very clear on that. But the less you understand and the less you stand on that, allows them to creep on in and take your shit. Now, as me, I like keeping mine. So if I have to be divisive to do that, I will do that. You feel me? It's not being mean. It's business. See, we are a people. And as a people, we have to think as a people. We as a people need to get our collective business together. And one thing that we need collectively is our reparations. Period. Ours. Simply ours. We need to get out that slave mentality that we need to start talking about us. No, the only us in this conversation is us. All outside conversation is irrelevant right now. Sorry you going through what you're going through. Sorry you going through what you're going through. But right now, the only people who are the focus of this world's attack is the only people that they know are strong enough to steadily fight and beat the drum. And hello, here we are. So I just need y'all to just make sure y'all take everything in context before you react. Because we have a cold enemy and they never sleep. They like New York City. The city that never sleeps. Evil. They say it never dies. And most definitely does not take days off. And with that being said, here's this other piece because evil says, all right, I know how much some of y'all have been so destroyed and just bombarded mentally and stripped of your own thoughts of what integrity should be, that you will basically call anything that we tell you to call what we want you to call it. So if we say this is good, you call it good. If we say this is bad, then you're going to treat it as such. Look at your skin and call it detestable. Look at your hair and call it ugly. Look at your lips and hate it. Most importantly, look in that mirror and tell yourself every day how disgusting you are to yourself. This is so much trauma that your enemy has put on you, and they are right now trying to sell your mind back to them. I hope you're paying attention. Hope you're paying attention, because these people are absolutely about your demise, yours and mine. Why? Because we actually are paying attention and we give a damn. Now, for all the rest of the people who watch a bunch of mindless shit all the time, they don't care about them because they're never going to be a threat. They're not going to buck the system. Those of us who they understand can even sway the international conversation. That's who matters. Now, see, there will be a lot of come and go fly-by-nighters because here's the point. They have to combat, what they feel they're doing is combating for attention. And I say this is what they feel they are doing because that's about all they can do is combat for attention. They don't have a purpose over here. So they have a purpose against what's over here, but they do not have a purpose here. Once again, proving the point that there is no one with us. It's only us. All else is irrelevant. So when these people come in here, it was all of the whole divisive conversation in them spaces. It was all about the money. So you pretty much going to see that die down. If y'all have not noticed, a lot of those I hate FBAs. Now there are the other one. I guess they've been doing some kind of beefing out there. I don't know what that's about. But I know how the immigrants were going back and forth. I've seen that kind of die down quite a bit. So what the next phase is pushing white men on black women. Go figure. But before I get there, it just reminds me, there was a group. What's up, Valley Ray? Oh, yeah, like cat. Who else I see? What you say? Ain't no rest for the wicked. Ray Von Johnson, welcome. Right. Ain't no rest for the wicked. Hey, Louise. Yes, indeed. Okay, so let me get to the, where's this at? Let me put this picture on the screen, and you'll know where we're going. Do I put that in there? Oh, because the pictures in this article. It's so fitting. And I just happened, somebody actually on Twitter, because you know how Twitter alerts you when somebody likes even an old post. And I don't know if y'all remember. So when Queen Abadiah did the day she did the broadcast, we were going back and forth on Twitter, but behind Breonna Taylor's mother, because basically it was a post that she had made, her and Tamir Rice's mother. And so I chimed in support of both of them sisters, of course, naturally, right? Do you know one of these demo shills hop right on there and just like, oh man, you know, you this and you that. I'm like, okay. You know what? That's the very first moment when I learned of these fake reparation people. That's right after that I did the grassroots COINTELPRO tactics. Because that's how I started learning all of them. Tar Reid and all of them. I was like, okay. So you're the next wave of people that they're looking to send Okay. I know what I'm looking for now. And one just popped her head up yesterday. So don't worry, lady. We'll get to you. In the meantime, the ones who preceded you, who have already well shot themselves in the foot. I couldn't even get this picture up here. It wouldn't load. So we have to show this one. Yes. Your favorite grifters. Now, this is what a real grift looks like. I know we look at one another and say, hey, how can we make money off the community? I get it. I totally get it. But I give credit where credit is due. When I can at least see a product or purchase a product, that's one thing. Tell me one thing other than a shirt that you could get from these people. And they was able to operate for a damn decade, making millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions, when their whole line is about destroying the nuclear family. But Black Lives Matter, though. Do they? I mean, I know that dead black body money, ooh, boy, that must really hit nice, don't it? Check this out. Living lavish. 3.1 mil. Living super lavish. Ain't that nice? Look at that kitchen. That's a nice kitchen. She don't have a pot filler, though. She must not really cook. You got a whole studio? Wow. Boy, Marxism, boy, the one thing that they do teach you, obviously, is how to get the money. Ballin'. So, somebody has now had Twitter take that whole thread, take the post down. My comment is still there. You just can't go further up in the thread to see what was actually the issue. However, though, my question still stands. So a lot of you may not know the duo that kind of set this one in motion. Shout out to Queen Amadai Shakur. I just have a question. I say, hey, it's just amazing, man. I look at Red Fox and, they put that man out his gate. I look at Ray Charles. They had to come to I'll Be Good to You. If y'all remember that record, that whole record was about paying Ray Charles' tax bill. They was trying to take all his shit. They was trying to take his whole masters. So if y'all saw Ray and how they did all that, trust me. They was trying to get it back at the end before he got in there, right before he put his foot off up in that grave. Yeah, let's see if we can't get that. And so his friends came, Quincy Jones, and they came together for the brother. Same thing for Melba Moore. Melba Moore went through the same thing. That's what friends are for. That's exactly why they made that record. They recorded that record for free and gave her the proceeds because the IRS was like, yeah, so you had them hits way back when, and that house, man, them improvements looking really nice. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to stick this tape across your front gate and put you on the other side of it. They literally came and took the watch and the rings off of Red Fox's hands, man, during an interview. I know a lot of y'all too young to remember that, but I ain't. They did that dude so dirty. That's why he had to go back to work doing that old Sanford show that lasted. Remember the show with him and Della Reese? Afro Elite, what's going on, my brother? Yeah, that man, they did that. They do not let black folks get out of here unscathed. One who cares, hey, because these people are filthy, man. So that's what I'm just saying. I'm saying all this to say I just want y'all to understand the depth of the devil. You understand me? The wickedness knows no bounds. Think of how evil you could possibly think, and then put it on crack, and you still ain't there. Talking about content and character. You wish I could get to your skin color. Skin with okay, I'll just say this. This group of people did this, and this. Now, how is that going to be relatable to your complexion? I think it's more relatable to your soul, if you ask me. Now, if I'm looking at your complexion, I can just say the byproduct of how I would identify you would be inward out. So what I see in you, which is the devil, it just happens to interpret itself in white skin. Obviously, the Lord knew what he was doing when he called it leprosy in the first place. Anyway, moving right along. Shalom, CH464. Let's see. Boy, that house was baller, wasn't it? Baller out of control, man. Must be nice. Must be nice. Oh, man. But now the IRS is coming calling. And that was my question. Because I'm just saying, all this money that y'all done made, all this money y'all spending, and all the things you buying, man, ain't nobody from the IRS come hit you up yet? I mean, shoot, ask Arkansas Mo from and Blue from Love and Hip Hop. Both them niggas gone. They both already gone doing their time. I mean, just look at the reality of that. Yeah. And then you can't figure out, these people. Ooh. Said Screw 2 playing games. You might want to refresh. I don't know, because I'm looking at I'm literally looking like 3 different feeds right now. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'm still here, though. Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, let me go ahead and put a 1 in the chat if you can still see me and hear me, because I can see and hear me. Okay, you said it's all good on your end? Good. Okay, good. All right. So let me see, where's this other... Okay, cool. Right on. So let's get let me see what I want to hit. You know what? I'm gonna hit this little piece right here, because I'm gonna point out something. And then we're gonna get into the because I want to make everything a teachable moment. So we have the whole story about the New York Post line. I've seen many people report on this already. So this will, of course, be my take. It'll be slightly different than everybody else's take, because I'm looking at something and I'm just noticing the pattern. So I wanted to see what the dude who wrote this line, I wanted to see what his history was. So it's pretty interesting to note that this dude he speaks just like the demo shields, but he's kind of been one of those that they've held in the wings for a few years. But he's been around for a while. So I actually found some stuff from him from like 10 years ago. And he's basically talking the same stuff he's talking right now. But now he's able to kind of get some new shine. And just like the other dude who they're trying to bring out with the what is he, woke racism or woke anti-racism, whatever the hell he's talking about. Basically, he's trying to combat how we fight anti-black racism. He's basically trying to tell white folks how to adapt to it, I guess. Paris James, welcome. Just another Sambo, Pander Bear. So check this out. This is, I think, Joy Reid.
Conservative political operatives have figured out what riles up their base, the fake threat that progressives are trying to indoctrinate their children, to groom them to become gay or trans. These terms, indoctrination.
All right, let's just go back and examine that very first line right there, because I want you to pay attention. This is this tactic that these people use because they're all liars. And they're paid to get a point across. Listen to how she sets it up.
Have figured out what riles up their base, the fake threat that progressives are trying to.
Fake threat? How can you call a fake threat and then about how anyone is looking at protecting or defending or raising their own children? So the fact that she interjects, see, what you're hearing right now is chipping at the wall of protecting your kids and understanding the levels of protection that you should be at to diminish it for where they want you at. You catching it?
To indoctrinate their children to.
I'm sorry. Aren't y'all mad that y'all can't tell little 5-year-olds about trans, all of that stuff too, and all this sexual stuff? When I was in school, I learned about all of that still in high school, sophomore year, in health class, like everybody else, because that's state regulation. So I don't even understand why we're at this point where we're talking about the same conversation that I had sophomore year being, and it's not like it was hard. This one thing was harped on. We had to go learn it all. But this isn't about learning it all. This is indoctrination at its finest. I mean, I know there's somebody with dreads and raggedy teeth right now probably steaming at the truth. But that's what happens when you spend your time in emotional pits of peril. All you could do is lie your way out, which means you never got out the pit. Don't be mad at me. Peep the truth for yourself. I didn't put words in her mouth, but she's damn sure putting words in front of an agenda. I'm just saying.
Conservative political operatives have figured out what riles up their base, the fake threat that progressives are trying to indoctrinate their children, to groom them to become gay or trans. These terms, indoctrination, grooming, predator, accusing innocent people of being pedophiles or being soft on pedophiles. It is all so a very specific trigger for a group.
Sorry, ma'am. See, here we go back about the accused thing. And for those of you who have been watching this broadcast for a while, you already know how Joy Reid get down. This is Demo Shield Talk 101. She's using all of these setup words. Anyone who can be fooled by the likes of this, and at this stage in the game, either you ain't paying attention or you want to be fooled, or you just simply desire to be. Like, might be some karma. Who knows? But this woman right here is absolutely protect. She is speaking defensively. She is aggressively, defensively speaking about issues that affect children in defense of what parents are fighting about against. And trust me, Democrats will pay anybody. They'll wake up a crackhead in the back alley, go dress them up and put them in front of a mic and call it good. So never trust anybody they roll out, because they'll pay anybody to say whatever they want them to say, and these Negroes will do it because they love the devil.
That is sinking its teeth into our political discourse. Folks like Marjorie Taylor Greene know that. There's a reason her pro-pedophile tweet is the attack du jour. It's a bat signal to QAnon. Joining me now is Elie Mystal, justice correspondent for...
No, ma'am, it is not. Look, just that quick. We not even a minute in, and she's making the spin to, if you black, then you sound like a white supremacist. They're using a term and they're using a talking point to start subtly weaving it in. But if you've noticed in these other spaces, they're saying that all of a sudden what we're saying now is starting to sound like white supremacy, and well, we must be paid agents of white supremacists. This is where we at with it now. So I hope y'all understand. I just wanted to play a little bit of it because I just want you to know how much damage people like this can do when you're not paying attention. Just that quick, within a matter of seconds, sold you an agenda. Well, anybody, you wouldn't even know that that's what she was doing. That's why they like to avoid me and keep me shadow banned. I say some of these people know exactly who people are. You know, one thing, I'll give her credit though. I mean, you know, for her to be up there doing it as long as she's done it, you know, you got to be some kind of dedicated to be able to swallow those lies like that. I'll give her credit. You dedicated. What? Man, don't know if I could really give you credit on that. Oh. So, just real quick, because we will be getting to this, you know, we're going to have to address this situation, and we have not got there yet. But just letting you know, you know, if somebody is probably watching right now, oh yeah, I caught your next little demo, Shield. Yeah, she's out the paint already, baby. I don't know what you paid her, but I noticed that she already has a little produced video, and you got her a whole production crew, and she ain't got no damn followers. Well, you got the right one, baby, yeah. I don't know why y'all try. This is amazing to me. You know what? Y'all buildings is just going to be lights out and dark by the time y'all figure, like, why don't we just pay them niggas what they wanted? Man, put your money in the bag, man. We're not going away. And, you know, just the drums just gets louder. We marching around Jericho, man. While y'all actually see, we up here making the real loud noises. See, and then this is what I want people to understand. Here's another thing. We as foundational Black Americans, us indigenous, aboriginal, Black descendants of chattel slavery here in America, we are different and unique, and we are the salt of the earth. Definitely, clearly. That's why you're influencing everything. You know, who else is there outside of us that could put that much influence on us, that you have all of these other little imitators over here jumping around and hopping on people's sounds and chasing what's already been done and calling themselves, or I don't know, they're trying to call other people the kings of this and parts of that. And I'm going to tell you like this, as a member of the funk community, co-sign that, Jack. It can be imitated, but can't be what this is. This is funk creation. That's why we get the dubs and we get the nods and we get the old heads saying, yeah, those guys. But I know what the machine want. We already know what the machine want, but at the end of the day, I mean, things like this, something that y'all will never know how powerful y'all are. Just keep an eye on just even the powerful individuals around you. Because what they want you to do is see yourself like this.
Love, we'll be all night. Love, we'll be all night. And everything's alright. Nothing makes my body so resting on what it's like. Boy, I'm working in the lesson.
See, they want you with that kind of swag. Dusty and lost. That just ain't us, man. No, we not the saltless. We are not the saltless, baby. That just is not us. There we go. That's what I need. Oh, man. But one thing, I mean, I got to get this up in here for y'all. Where's that at? Where is that? Did y'all like that, though? Because, that's, oh, girl, I just showed you that we finna talk about. That's how she be singing in her bathroom when she looking in the mirror. Oh, Beyonce, because she a Beyonce fan. So always stay mindful, fam, because we go get into this story about this, and I'm gonna break down some stuff because I want you to just peep the dude's vibe who's writing it. And also I looked at that's not the only story. They did something about this, like a story kind of like this back in 2017. So I'm gonna check. We're gonna check that out. But first, a word from the Biden sexual sponsors of today's broadcast.
I'm not gay no more. 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 I am delivered. I'm delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. I said I like women. I will love a woman.
Woo! Oh, man. We have fun over here at the Beatzilla PDX official show. Of course, this is a very serious platform, but we also do like to lighten it up every now and then. I may just happen to sneak a joke in on you every now and then. Woo! Y'all didn't see that one coming up. Yeah, y'all didn't see that one coming, did you? Ooh-wee. Yeah, I pulled a Dominique Devereaux on y'all today. Y'all didn't see that one coming at all. Like, man, y'all see how you coming on here if y'all have been here for when he calls up, I'm telling you, this brother will always say something, and his jokes is just ridiculous. They always come at like the least expected time. Oh my Lord. So again, and with all the pressures we got in this world, everybody need a good laugh every now and then, don't you? You know. Oh Lord, everybody needs that good laugh every now and then. So let me see. Let me go get on into. Okay, so I actually need to. I'm gonna read a little bit of this story first, and then we're gonna start getting into these videos and breaking down dude's logic. Cause it's man, when you family, you gonna hear this black man talking, being like, mind you, now he's supposed to be married, and so this man is married with a family. I guess he might be delivered. I'm just saying. So yeah, I think he might be delivered. So the first line that y'all have already seen, which is why more black women should consider marrying white men. And this is the article that is written by this guy we're about to get into. And of course, y'all know it's the picture with Ketanji. Matter of fact, let me do this. I'll do it like this. Let me move it like so. Bear with me, family. And let me get. There we go. All right, can we see that? Yep, we can. All right. So y'all see that on the screen. Why should more black women consider marrying white men? Well, why would you push that agenda at this moment? Why would that be important for the New York Post? Well, you could use the excuse of Ketanji, right? You could use that as an excuse. Maybe. So anyway, let me just read this real quick. Two of the most powerful positions in the United States government will soon be held for the first time by black women. Kamala Harris, she's not black, and Ketanji Brown Jackson. Harris, as we all know, who's not black, is the Vice President of the United States. And Brown Jackson could soon become a Supreme Court justice. But Harris, who's not black, and Brown Jackson also share a personal attribute that is equally noteworthy. Each has a white husband. Now that is unarguably true. Let's see, let's go on here. This fact is significant. The effects of racism have left well-educated black women with a paucity of black male partners. According to Brookings Institute data, black men are less likely than black women to have completed high school and 50% less likely to have attained a 4 years college degree. Yet, despite the shortage of suitable black partners, black women have also been least likely of any minority group to marry outside of their race, according to data from Pew Research Center. And you know what? I will stop right there on this because I'm pretty sure most of you have read the rest of this article, because that part I want to stick. Now, here's the second article I want to read. This is from New York Post, but this is from 2017. And Tamron Hall is the face of this article. It says, black women face the taboo of interracial dating. They face the taboo of interracial dating? No, because professional sports have made sure that they push that on their athletes. Most people don't know that, but yes, they do. That's why most of them do have white women. They give them the whole black women are, dangerous to your career type talk. I don't know if a lot of people will be honest and tell you that's what they do say, but yeah, there's a whole when people get drafted and signed, yeah, they got to go to that orientation meeting, and that's one of them. They tell who to avoid. So let's see. This reads this may be the last remaining taboo. Oh God, you got to be kidding! This may be the last remaining taboo in our supposedly colorblind society. A New York City woman, beautiful, educated, successful, and single, accepted a challenge presented by an online dating service that aimed to fix her up with available men. I'm not desperate to get married, said Jackie Reed, who co-hosts the New York Live lifestyle show WNBC News Channel 4, serves as a correspondent for a nationally syndicated Tom Joyner morning show on the radio, and is the editor-in-chief. Oh, I didn't realize that. Of singleandlivingfab.com. So she's editor-in-chief of singleandlivingfab.com, but she's over here taking the challenge about dating. Okay, I guess, I mean, I'm not really sure what kind of message you're really trying to send here, but whatever. Let's see. I've met some good men. I've met some bad men. I've dated some very bad men. Laugh Reed, a fitness enthusiast and never married Atlanta, Georgia native who lived in Manhattan with her pet Shih Tzus, a boy named Sugar Shane, and a girl named Zoe. I'm happy being single, said Reed, who declined to give her age. She said, I'm excited about web-based matchup services. It'll be fun. And I'll get some dates. But 2 days after we spoke last week, WNBC spokeswoman informed me that Reed no longer planned to accept the dating services challenge because she was, quote, busy. A friend told me that she changed her mind about it. Why? The answer may be found in dating service name interracial. Oh, I'm sorry. The answer may be found in the dating services name, interracialdatingsentral.com. Reed, who is African American, had opened herself up to the possibility of going out with other men who are not. Except for one white guy she has dated only within her race. Reed talked about the challenge to the radio, and the publicity accepted the services offer. Okay, so she obviously accepted this challenge publicly. Well, I don't know why she would have did that. So here's another opportunity for her to do something that somebody else is interjecting into the mix, interjecting into our community, pushing up in our community, and look what happens. Right off the rip, you're accepting a challenge. Why are you involved in all of this black radio, black airspace, entertaining interracial dating in the first damn place? That's off. That's off code as hell. So let's see. She agreed to be featured in a news release announcing that she would go on a series of blind dates with 4 New York area bachelors of all races, including African Americans. Then the pushback began. Well, yes, because you got a whole black woman over here who has been nothing but got her whole career off of BET and being in the people's faces. And now all of a sudden you up here entertaining this? Yeah, you well within your rights to get that blowback. The hell are you thinking? Wow. So that is all I'm going to read of that, because talking about the pushback, right? See, now here's where the shame tactics usually come in at. And it's all about, oh, well, man, you guys are... Y'all remember when Umar went up there to Roland Martin? And he also was on the Breakfast Club, and they were really trying to attack him about interracial dating, because what did he say? He said interracial dating made a political statement. Now, mind you, people love who they love or whatnot. That's a personal choice. But this is an agenda. Just like when the LGBTQ, we were saying, hey, there's an agenda pushing it on our community. What did we say? They're pushing it on us. It's a campaign. Well, here we're seeing the next campaign. Nothing different, just same energy, new tool. It's all. So now we're pushing because, again, it still came from, remember, none of the leaders of Black Lives Matter are in a heterosexual relationship, but yet they're coming out for the so-called black family. But one thing they want to do is destroy the nuclear family. Why? Who seeks to destroy the strength of their own community? Oh, that's right, because you told yourself the woman was the backbone of the community. No, the family is. Family is the backbone of your community. Because you know what that demonstrates? Unity. I beg somebody to argue. I'll take that challenge any day. Because anybody who wants to argue that has already lost because you were looking to divide yourself. Saying, I always tell people, don't get mad at me. Look in the mirror. And what you see, am I lying? So, let's go to this place first. Because what y'all got to understand is a lot of what they're pushing right now is it. Let's go back to the Sally Heming and Thomas Jefferson. Slavery. So, the whole thing that they're pushing right now is it started with slavery. Some things that started practices that happened in slavery were the elements of prostitution, even while still being a slave. So there were still benefits, trinkets, may even get a chance to travel, see a whole nother country as a bed wench. So what we have right now is a whole situation where they are trying to push that back on us because at the root of it, it's literally based off of slavery. The American style interracial relationships tie back to slavery. Believe it or not. That's the truth. I mean, that's like, but again, see, that's I'm completely invested into the business of justice, the business of survival, the business of reparations. You understand what I'm saying? See, that we need to be in. I could be emotional, but that ain't gonna get us very far. I mean, where would that get us? Where would that get me? That get you being emotional, me being emotional? Nah, let's deal with the business of getting our stuff together. And so that's where I'm strongly invested. They are strongly invested at all the division, but you have to know why they want to divide you here. Because the backbone of any community, your strength is in your families. That's not saying you don't have people of alternative lifestyles, but they are not the backbone. The backbone is the one that can sit up here and produce. Prime example, I'm a man, and me and my wife have 16 kids. I got one of them that want to do something else that would not have them reproduce. How many other children do I have that can provide me grandchildren? Do you see where the backbone now stands? It ain't at no damn agenda that they sold us. It's at the reality of what we are. See, we got to get out of the devil's head and get back into what we are. And simple as the sooner we could all figure that much out, then I mean, which everything they do is to disrupt it. So that's why I'm just taking it upon myself just to show you all the different tools that they use against us to do just that. Somebody asked a question about FBA. I've seen on the video. Let me be very clear, because I know I was doing this when people were trying to figure out what they want to do relationship-wise or even in life. That's how much time I got in. So my thing is this. I never understand why anybody asks so many questions about what someone is doing in front of other people. If that, you would never see me doing that in front of anyone. So if you didn't see me doing that, you would not see me doing it. Not for to sit up here, bring nobody else's name. Well, why ain't you this? Why ain't you that? One thing about a revolutionary, though, because a lot of people think business, when you start hearing people bypassing the most important thing, you already know. Like, no, you have a personal thing attached to whatever you're talking about. And that's fine. Right now, though, we in the business of the collective group. So if that's too hard for you to figure out, I get it. But it would really be a lot easier for you and yourself if you kept other people out of your mouth. We don't need to see other people in your titles. We don't need you to see over here criticizing this. If you want to do you, do you. But if all you're going to do is criticize somebody else, then you have become no different than the same people you talk and mess about. And here's the one point, because here's what I'm doing right here. If you can use these two things, that should be working just fine. Education is the first part. If you don't know shit, you can't do shit. So stop trying to get people to do things for you unless you're not going to do them yourself. And especially somebody else's husband. That would be the last thing you ever need to have in your mouth. Both ways. So this is my point. You got to you got to be able to understand what they push on us and why they push these things on us. You understand? So I understand. It's time to start conducting ourselves to a certain standard of behavior. And, hey, man, you ain't doing nothing for black people. You ain't not doing nothing for black people. Let me call your name out over this damn internet in front of all these white folk. But you ain't doing nothing for black people. What you doing? Why don't you tell me right here in front of all these white people what you do? Will you shut your ass up? Let the men work. Men don't take no cues from no woman about what man we gonna deal with. Check with men and see if a man has got valid. I ain't gonna be listening to you and another woman about what I'm gonna say about another man. The hell is wrong with y'all? Y'all really see, this is the true difference between women who actually talk that alpha male shit and you beta male this. This is a real true and through. I don't even know what y'all talking about. Because number one, I wouldn't be arguing with you. For what? If I'm going to interact with this man, it's because he's solid with me. And there's certain things and standards I need of any individual man. One thing he can't do is be soft. I mean, so these, man, y'all do not, because I know, y'all be seeing these dudes, and I see these dudes hop up in it. Oh, yeah, what's up, Queen, man? I see any dude that want to get up on camera and talk about another man with a female ain't solid. I know that goes in your mind like, yeah, I'm feeling like this. No, your masculine energy just drew him to you. Wonder why you single. Anyway, moving right along. This next little piece, maybe you learn something.
The purpose of this book and why you chose the title. It's a very contentious or very controversial title, first of all.
Right, so the title of my book is Marriage for White People? And that is contentious, it is controversial, it gets your attention, and that's the goal.
On your website, you have video clips where you explain the book, and I just want to read one of your quotes. You stated, one of the reasons why you wrote the book was to try and understand why, for the past 50 years, African Americans have become the most unmarried people in the nation. So as an African American man, how does this fact personally affect you?
There's a lot written about marriage, but it doesn't focus on black people at all. There's a lot written about African Americans in marriage, but that focuses almost entirely on the poor.
Are y'all getting the aroma of biscuits yet? I mean, because you already got to know. You said Quinta said, did I miss something? Well, you know, somebody did this video, and because people convolute things, and I like to be clear, FBA is simply about a lineage. It's just a lineage identifier. Anybody who's saying this, FBA is not a group, so that's why FBA can't be this, or FBA can't be that, or FBA can't be whatever group you want to call it, because it's not that. It's just a damn lineage. So at the end of the day, all you keep doing is calling out men as a woman. I wish someone would just, some of y'all, I've done hit y'all about this person now. I don't know how y'all even be over there with that energy, man. All that yapping. God. Now, listen, for the one to whom this person adores, I was even down to help with that whole with the whole ozone situation, because I know that came in. Wrong. We were. Here's the problem. There was a whole issue that they had blowing up with them. And again, that's putting all kind of differences aside for people. But just making sure we trying to get on board for the brother. But that whole other thing that happened, how can we now sit up there and say, I'm going to put my name on it? Somebody got to show me, give me somewhere where I could post up to send this brother directly something. So the people can know this ain't no funny business. Because if you falling out with this person, you falling out with this person, only person who is suffering is that brother Ozone. And I definitely feel for him, because I know what that situation is like, having to sit up here and protect your life from a damn white supremacist. Been there, done that. Ate my time for it. So that's a whole other part. Ain't no revolutionaries? Yeah, you damn right, you not one. So before you start calling people out, maybe put your damn hand to the grindstone and shut your ass up. And stop calling out foundational black American men. It's your Babylonian ass mindset. You need to get up out that, let me talking all of my business in Front Street. Shut up. This is a discourse of education. One of the things about education that you're going to build is, over time, you will develop a strategy if you take the time to learn. That way you don't have to ask why somebody else ain't doing what they doing with their money. I don't understand that. That's some hater shit for real. But everybody has their own personal thing. I got it. I'm looking at the overall group, and if you are a problem, which I see you becoming, I'm voicing my problem about it. Stop calling out our men. Unless you want them to pay you a visit like that for being called out, because you keep doing it to people you don't know. Someone enlighten this woman on life. The rest of the world, I know from where you from, you may not have, you got to get out there, but cut that shit out. People ain't out here, ain't all what you think they are, until you find out that they ain't what you think they are. Leave these people alone. Some people might sit up there and take that shit serious. Because you got to understand, there are fanboys out here. You got stands all over the place. You got stands. They got stands. Everybody in front of a camera got to stand somewhere. Be careful what you're doing out here. And stop talking about other people. If you want to talk about somebody, I better see some white folks in y'all titles, man. And for y'all that I know who be fooling with these people, they keep doing that. I must start looking at y'all funny style, man. What y'all doing over there? Because you know that that's not enlightenment. As much as I hear the stringent talk about this individual or that individual, I cannot sit here and let y'all watch people besmirch black men at every opportunity, giving props to Cynthia G, and then sit up here and be mad at Kevin Samuels. Just because the whole same idiotic gender war line coming out of a dreadlock head and nails make you feel better? It's the same bullshit. Learn, and I'm not saying she no agent. I'm just saying she's hurt, and y'all don't need to be listening to that foolishness. So there's just a big difference. You dig? You said, now if my black king could just hurry up and find me, I'll be all right. You know, he's out there. He's out there. He probably out here trying to find, find where this good down to earth sister is at. Just know if he start talking like this Negro here on the screen, run.
What I wanted to do in this book is to focus on the middle class and to try to connect the black middle class to the American society more generally. And that's an issue that is a professional interest, but it's also a personal interest because I'm African American. I've seen the marriage decline. I grew up in a community that was practically all two-parent families when I was a child. Now it's almost entirely one-parent families. So I've seen that. I've seen that in my own social environment. And so I want to try to understand the forces that are remaking life for people like myself in particular.
What challenges did you face in trying to talk to people and get people open about this topic?
This was a very, very difficult book to write, I'll say. So the core of the book is that marriage has declined among African Americans precipitously during the past 50 years. Pivotal factor in that decline is that black women are doing better, but black men are doing worse. Nearly twice as many black women as men graduate from college. 1 in 10 black men in their 20s, early 30s are in prison or jail. So we have this huge disparity between the conditions and circumstances of black men.
Now, this is the element of cowardice or just a straight up agent. Because what he just did right there was absolutely talked all the way around about the conditions or the circumstance that was initiated by the government itself that brought those circumstances to be. I mean, Tamir Rice ain't going to college. Trayvon Martin ain't going to college. Mike Brown ain't going to college. But all of these disparities, they won't get married neither. So there's something that's happening there, sir. It's not just about, you're having issues in relationships and relationship land. No, there is a completely different elephant in the room that your coon ass is choosing to ignore while allowing yourself to be used as a propaganda tool against your own community. You dirtbag. Good Lord.
Women. And that was a very, very difficult issue to write about because the book is about the consequences of that disparity in our relationships and in marriages or lack of marriages, how that's contributed to the lack of marriages. And so it's a very difficult issue to write about. Even members of my own family were discouraging me from writing about this book. Friends, other people would often say something to the effect of, why do you want to put our business out there in the street? Why you want to wash dirty laundry in public? Are you going to promote negative images of black people? So there's a lot of anxiety and sensitivity.
Why? Okay, look at what he's doing. And so with this model, funny, what does it sound like to you, family? Get him a fitted cap. His head, he got a shark head. Tanya Zion, he is absolutely a disgrace. I mean, this dude here. And so this is the cat that just wrote that book or wrote the little article for the New York Post about with Ketanji. This is him. So this is his whole philosophy. So they didn't just get some random writer to write this story. They got a dude whose career is based on this. Why is it that serious to be about now?
About the issues.
And I want to read another one of your quotes. You stated that although interracial marriage is often seen as an abandonment of race, for black women it is unquestionably, it serves the race. So do you think that interracial marriage within the black community is still tabooed?
Interracial marriage is less taboo for other groups, but it's more taboo for black women. In other words, we put more pressure.
Now that's just a flat out lie there, isn't it? We seem to have a great history that allows a lot of foreigners to come to this country. There was a movement, had this one fella named Martin Luther King. There was somebody else who was on a bus. Rosa Parks, that's right. But man, there was another incident that somehow, let's see, how do I remember? Oh, that's right, because this sick, twisted, demented, old, dirty devil bitch is still living that lied on Emmett Till. That's how the civil rights movement got started. Because of Carolyn Bryant. And this milk dud head Negro right here is talking all around it as if black people are the problem. Like we have, I don't know why black men just ain't want to be with black women. When you're getting gunned down in the street or getting your Johnson chopped off and hung by a tree, that might be a little bit of not coming back home type of deal. You know what I mean? Douchebag.
On black women to stay within the race than probably any other group experience.
And who's we? Who's putting the
pressure?
We,
our society. I think it comes from a number of areas. Here's the puzzle. One of the puzzles the book highlights is that black women are doing a lot better than black men. Nearly twice as many black women as men graduate from college now. Black women are going to be earning more than black men. They're going to be more visible in professional occupations. Yet, although black women have the smallest pool of men within their group, they're also the least likely to marry outside the group. Right? So black women are the most segregated group in the society in terms of their intimate relationships. And the big question the book engages is why is.
Notice the choice of words. As if to say the black woman's choice to stick with her man wasn't her natural choice. He's using the word segregated as if someone else is keeping the black woman from the white man or dating outside of her race. See how he prefaced it? Little word games. He's a hypocrite. Yes, he is, because he got a whole black wife. But like I said, I think he might be a little touch delivered.
That. And one reason that is because we have encouraged many black women to feel as though it is their duty to stick with black men, especially because black men are faring so poorly that it's black women's duty to stand by the black man and bring him along and help the brother out and lift as you climb. And that's a noble endeavor. It's an understandable impulse, but it's also one that leaves many black women in bad situations.
So, do you see how we got to the hashtag protect black women? When we started letting these demo nuts around us, but just because they got black skin and letting them speak and letting them get there, it's okay, let them do it, they black. No, it ain't. And now you have put yourself in a predicament where you got white men taking black women's places because they say they women. And now they better than you. Give them their rights. When I look at stuff, I want to see like how far back does this go? You know what I mean? So I'm like, got it. Yeah. So this is some agenda stuff. So like right now, the stuff I'm seeing, oh yeah, all of this it's all together. Just like the lady that did it. So we're gonna get to old Leela. Yeah, we're gonna get to her because she's also part of this same wave. Gotcha. They say about beatzilla, you show up early, man.
If black women expanded their options, many of them would find that they would have better relationships, frankly, with the white or Asian or Latino classmate from Northwestern or Columbia or City College than they would with the guy they grew up with, but who didn't go to college.
Do you think it also encourages them to raise their game as well?
That's another possibility. This is what my brother-in-law says. He says, you know, I mean, if black men got to compete with all these other men, they might have to step it up a little. Because we have so many black men who have failed educationally and economically and don't have jobs and are in prison, the remaining black men who are out in the population, they have a lot of power because they're a scarce commodity. Black men being in short supply means that they can dictate the terms of relationships, and they often dictate terms that are not to the women's liking.
So also, Rick,
now, this is safe coon babble because what he did do was, again, talk absolutely against the circumstances to which those black men are in, but identified their existence as failure. Again, are you hearing the black man discounted out of the mouth of a black man? That's why they're using him. See, the way they use women is they use like Lizzo against y'all. Because Lizzo's heavy, she's doing all this stupid shit in front of everybody, but because she's a big black girl, y'all be like, oh, well, you know, I mean, maybe she's just felt this way her whole life, and well, she's just getting some attention now, and y'all just condone it. Meanwhile, they sitting over here making a big old spectacle. Don't you know that's exactly why Dave Chappelle left? All they did was find Dave Chappelle's next replacement and roll them right in front of you. That's how they do. That's what I'm saying. I want y'all to understand the depths of wickedness here.
some scholars would assert that one reason why African American women stick to black men is because of colonialism and slavery. How would you respond to that?
One of the ideas that we hear a lot is that, black women are worried about, sort of the idea of, lying down with the slave master, right? That sort of imagery, which seems kind of haunting. In talking about the book, I hear a lot of people talking about the importance of black women staying with black men. And sometimes it's black women, but more often it's actually black men.
So it seems like a double standard.
There's a clear double standard on the part of many men. And again, that derives from the fact that we expect black women, or many men in particular, expect black women to be that, strong woman in the household, holding it down, waiting for the brother, raising the kids, kind of the embodiment of the race, right? The person who's working for the race, even if the men are not. In fact,
for those of y'all who have been on like Tariq Nasheed's, some of his spaces, y'all ever hear when some of the Latinos call in? And he mentions that I can't. It's some LeBron or something. It's like improving the race, and so improving the race means lightening the race, which mean Lizzo the hippo. Louise calls her Lizzo the hippo. That is cruel, but my thing is this. Anybody want to get out there and start doing that coon stuff for them folk, just to make it look better? May she get all the lumps she deserves. We have to start shutting that down. And now Kaya, really not the one to be the ultimate one to talk. And I'm sure a lot of people dig her music, but we do know what she came out with and what her biggest hit is. So, I mean, there is that. That's not the most ladylike song anthem. It's one of those in the bedroom tunes. And that's something that you won't be playing that in the car with the grandchildren. My neck, my back. Oh, turn on. Let that car come in the car with them little kids in the car. Boy, you be scrambling, be scrambling trying to get that dial. Ooh-wee. Let's hear a little more of this nut.
It's very possible to be a strong black woman and also have a relationship with a non-black man.
So what do you think are some of the other options besides going outside of your race in terms of trying to fix the problem of marriage in the black community?
We need to have programs that enable black men to thrive. And that's a long-term project. That's a project for our entire nation because it's our entire nation's responsibility. But that's a project that won't be complete for 10 years, 20 years.
Black men are a project because of our economic status. You know what's funny? And I know I got a lot of Israelites in my chat. I guess Samuel would have thought the same thing about David. Sitting out there in the hill, just tending sheep. The littlest of all of his brothers. Samuel's like, him? Yep. That dude. Hey, man. Most I say, you supposed to come with me, man. I need to anoint you. Who, me? Yeah, I really don't understand what's going on, though. I mean, I'm just moving in faith here because this ain't really making sense. Oh, well, I don't know why. I've killed a bear. Slew a lion. See, his mind told him what he came prepared to see, not what was already prepared to be. But this is why they're fighting so hard, because they want people to get distracted by all of this foolishness. So this is why this dude has so see how they use him sitting in the wings for about 10 years? So now he can come out and start doing this now at this moment to where black unity is on the rise. Black natural hair is on an all-time rise. Black babies are booming up and down my Instagram timeline. I mean, who doesn't see black babies multiple times a day on Instagram? I mean, morning and night, there will be a black baby on my timeline sometime every day. So clearly, that's still happening. But considering the rate that we're reproducing, what they're pushing are women to go marry or not? However, black women being all of this other crap they talk about, mortality and all the black women are the highest in child. Man, please, black women been giving backwoods birth since. Let's see, we're probably 3 generations removed from actually being able to literally be born in a hospital in the first damn place. Folks wasn't in no hospital. Think your great grandma was born in a hospital? Yeah, that's another reason how we know we FBA. Yeah, our great granddad is born in a shack.
30 years. I mean, realistically. So this book is actually about sort of what to do while we're working on that project. Right? What do black women do in the meantime?
I thought it was cool how you said that you can still be a strong black woman and have a white man by your side, or whatever color the guy is, because it's like, it's an oxymoron.
What's in the
People
meantime?
usually see it that way.
Black men marry women of other races 2 to 3 times as frequently as black women cross the race line. Asian Americans, Latinos, they marry people of other groups 3 or more times as frequently as black women do. So black women.
Now, you understand that line that he just pulled. All of those other ethnicities that he's talking about identify as white. So as he's saying, all of these other people who are technically these, but identify on paper as white, they often interracially date. Well, no, they're all white. See how that works? So when you say the black woman is so segregated, well, no, it's because the black woman is noticeably black. So it's her blackness that's key, that's putting her in this dating pool. Not because, see, for them, they are all white, whether they be Latino, whether they be Iranian, whether they be Chinese, whether they be Filipino, whatever they want to call themselves, a Spanish, a Puerto Rican, they're going to come over here, Somalian, a Nigerian, they're going to come over here and call themselves white. Now, see, them Nigerians can go do that, but as soon as trouble came, they found out real quickly they weren't. But you can hold your own nuts, though. Yeah, you hold your own nuts. Because, nope. Not I.
Are the outliers in this scenario. And we need to create a set of circumstances where black women can enter into the integrated relationship world in the same way that other groups already have.
Rick, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So you have the movement of the destruction of the household and the family. And so in turn, the community. And so that was Richard.
I'm not gay no more. 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 I am delivered. I'm delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. I said I like women. I will love a woman.
Tribute to our brother Richard being delivered. Oh, Lord. So, let's get into this other little piece. Where I have that here. Because we have to talk about some of these things that are plaguing us. Oh. Before I do that, though, let me play this because here's something else I've seen. I'm like, oh, okay. there were people out there clearly that were have been paying attention to our reparations conversation. Of course, the powers that be, the powers that shouldn't be, rather, as Queen Obadiah says. So they are pulling out all the stops because here, look at what's happening. Like, I don't know if you guys are really paying attention to what is in front of you, but okay. Number one, the pressure from everything that the grassroots has put on this system since 2020 is now changing the forecasted outlook of these next two major election cycles. So much so that they're already spending buku bread to influence things. Now, mind you, when they had the whole CV relief money or whatever they were doing to try to get people to get the jab, they were giving money into black targeted media. Fox Soul being one. They just announced some new shows. So they got some new shows coming. They're gonna try to give some like political validity to a rapper. So they're gonna go the normal route. Let's go get some new entertainers and be like, oh man, yeah, man, this is real, son. You know me, it's just man, and how I grew up, I just feel like I should be giving back, And so this is just what we're gonna do, to show the youngsters, man, that you could do something more positive, man. You know what I'm saying? Same old line ain't producing shit. Reparations, man. Reparations. Miss me with that whole is for the kids line. You want to do something for the kids, put some money in their pocket by getting them the reparations. Miss me with everything else. Well, we can get these job pro reparations, take care of that though. We can get that land. Yeah, we need that too, because all these other groups got that. See, what repairing this nation is doing is just repairing this nation. We have been in perpetual debt, perpetual hole of poverty. So these things need to be rectified ASAP. So there's multiple levels of this, but there are multiple things that can immediately be enacted. No question. 1, protect the class. 2, tax exempt. 3, absolute state paid for insurance, health insurance, and life insurance, which now covers us being a protected class and also understanding that your police departments can get sued if they harm us. Simply done. You didn't even have to sign us a check yet. And we've already changed that much. But because making us the focal point of harm is the important thing for America, well, look at what they're doing. Now, what I need black folks to understand, you are in the way of success if you are still voting for the Democrats. You are in your own way. You are in your future's way. You are in all of our collective way. Because you won't go our collective way in using our votes strategically across the board for our interests as a group, as a whole. Dig it? So, with that being said, part of what you're seeing about this destruction is, what have we already said? People were getting mad about FBA, this, that. I told you what the problem was. Part of it was sexual access. Now that part is starting to come to the surface. Now that the conversation has already switched to lineage, right? So black women, when that check come in, don't marry a black man. You hear it? They early. I hope y'all paying attention because they know just what's in this video. Check it out.
Slavery. Decades of Jim Crow, housing discrimination, and other forms of systemic racism. All of that has led to this. A shocking wealth gap between black and white households in the United States. An average gap of $850,000 that, some experts believe, can be solved by something long overdue. Reparations to the descendants of enslaved black people. But how do we even determine who's eligible for reparations? And can the struggle for reparations in other parts of the world teach us anything about what needs to be done in the US? To understand why there's a call for reparations, there needs to be an understanding of the scale of slavery. It was a crime against humanity in which around 400,000 people were forcibly brought to North America. Over the centuries, 10 million enslaved people were legally treated as property in the United States, brutalized and ruthlessly exploited for free labor, which was used to establish the country as a leading global economy. In fact, one historian estimated that by 1860, enslaved people were, quote, worth some $3.5 billion, making them the largest single financial asset in the entire US economy. That's around $115 billion today. When slavery was abolished in 1865, 4 million formerly enslaved African Americans were freed. But through their forced labor, they created billions of dollars in generational wealth for their captors and none for themselves. Back then, the US government understood the need for reparations and passed an order to distribute 40 acres and a mule to all formerly enslaved families so they could build wealth and financial security. However, after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, President Andrew Johnson vetoed the allocation and returned the land to former slave owners. One way to reckon with America's past and current wealth disparity is through reparations that close the racial wealth gap.
You should make direct monetary payments to the eligible recipients.
That's economist William Darity. He co-authored the book From Here to Equality, which outlines one of the most comprehensive plans for what material reparations could look like.
So we estimate that this would require an expenditure of approximately $350,000 per eligible recipient. You get a figure of approximately $14 trillion.
Reparations for the crime of slavery and its legacy have long been a subject of national debate.
I don't think reparations for something that happened 150 years ago for whom none of us currently living are responsible is a good idea.
And I think they're using what academics would call the theory of distance, that something is too far in the past to have contemporary application.
So it's easy to see why Congress has yet to pass H.R. 40, a bill that was proposed all the way back in 1989. It would set up a commission to study and consider a national apology and proposal for reparations for the institution of slavery and its subsequent racial and economic discrimination against African Americans. And while you cannot place a monetary value on slavery and its lasting effects, there's a precedent of reparations programs compensating victimized communities directly. Back in the US, the Civil Liberties Act of 1988 designated $20,000 payments to Japanese Americans who survived internment camps during World War II.
The U.S. government has also made payments in instances where it was not the culpable party. Payments made to families that lost loved ones during the course of the 9/11 attacks, as well as payments that are being made to individuals who were held hostage in Iran at the end of the Carter presidency.
Up to $4.4 million per hostage or their estates. In the case of slavery, the U.S. government did promise reparations. It's just reneged on it. In fact, when the U.S. finally issued an apology for slavery, it included the disclaimer, "Nothing in this resolution authorizes or supports any claim against the United States or serves as a settlement of any claim against the United States." Nor did the U.S. ever provide true reparations, a process consisting of three things: acknowledgement, redress, and closure for grievous injustices.
It's vital that the federal government issue an apology because that will create the justification for the redress plan that follows.
That brings us to who would actually receive reparations. Those direct payments would go to the roughly 47 million Americans who identify as Black. But under Darity's plan, the requirements are a little more strict. First, Black Americans would have to have identified as Black, Negro, African American, or Afro-American for at least 12 years before any reparations plan goes into effect. And they'd have to prove that they had at least one ancestor who was enslaved in the United States. One way to do that is using the census. If your ancestor was present in the 1870 census and was old enough to have been alive in 1850 or 1860, but you can't find that person in the 1850 or 1860 census,
that would suggest that they were probably enslaved.
That's because before slavery was abolished with the 13th Amendment, enslaved people were not counted in the census.
They're actually missing people from the 1850 and 1860 census, and their absence there is a potential indicator that they were probably enslaved.
But while Darity's plan has received traction, it still faces opposition.
The impression down here is that Caribbean people who live in the United States, black people, would not be entitled to any reparation paid by the US government. But we are saying that's not right. We are saying that's divisive of the black population in the United States. We are saying that Caribbean immigrants have been harmed by that system through racial profiling, discrimination.
See, the black population in the US is pretty diverse. Most black people are foundational black Americans, meaning they're American descendants of enslaved people.
Now, you did hear that, right? You hear the language they're using, right? Most of the people here are foundational black Americans. FBA ain't this. I don't want to be part of FBA. Well, then give me your check there, nigga. Shut up.
Others are immigrants or the children of immigrants who came to the United States from mostly African and Caribbean countries. Those individuals may have ancestors who were enslaved, but wouldn't be considered eligible recipients for reparations in the United States.
Descendants of the enslaved have a claim that's linked directly to the failure to provide their ancestors with the promised 40-acre land grants. And that's uniquely a debt that is owed to the individuals who were enslaved and it was not met, and to their descendants. The second reason that's somewhat related is the fact that the current or existing racial wealth gap in the United States is a consequence of policies that have been pursued by the federal government that built white wealth to the detriment of black wealth.
A major policy Darity is referring to is the Homestead Act of 1862, or H.R. 125, legislation to, quote, secure homesteads to actual settlers of public domain. The policy incentivized citizens to move onto and settle land that had been violently stolen from indigenous nations.
Kinda sounds like what we're doing for Ukraine right now, doesn't it?
It provided 160-acre land grants to over 1 million white families for a small fee, but excluded the 4 million formerly enslaved people from the program who had already been denied the 40-acre land grants they'd been promised. Through the act, 270 million acres of land was settled across 30 states over 124 years. Remember, owning land generates income, and passing land down to the next generation builds wealth. So the consequences of that decision are seen today. Approximately 45 million living white Americans have benefited from this massive asset.
Look at that map. Look at that map. That is a clear-cut sign of keeping black people as a permanent undercast. Undercast and class. Because you don't have any room to build any wealth or compete without equity. All of that equity, that right there is the benevolence fund of white supremacy. The affirmative action plan, that Homestead Act, all of that just you see right there is more. It has, so here's what they are fighting. Knowing what you owe and putting us in a position to compete. They basically see that map disappearing, and that's how they look at it.
Building legislation.
I would argue that virtually all Black people throughout the diaspora, the African diaspora, have a claim for reparations, but they don't all have a claim for reparations from the United States government.
The horrors of slavery and its consequences are not uniquely American. The transatlantic slave trade transported approximately 12.5 million enslaved Africans across the Americas. The overwhelming majority of enslaved Africans were shipped directly to Latin America and the Caribbean. Spain and Britain shipped around 1 million enslaved Africans just to Jamaica. By 1833, slavery was abolished throughout the British Empire. But instead of compensating formerly enslaved people, Britain provided reasonable compensation to slave owners through a then £20 million loan, which British taxpayers fully repaid in 2015. According to one estimate, that's worth over 20 billion British pounds today. For decades, descendants of enslaved people have been fighting for reparations in these regions. And in 2013, several Caribbean countries united to form the CARICOM Reparations Commission, which developed a strategy for reparations that focuses on reparatory justice.
The 10-point plan begins with the demand for an apology,
which is followed by calls for repatriation, an Indigenous Peoples Development Program.
What's so cold about this woman right here that you saw on the screen? We're not part of CARICOM, but she's saying it's divisive that she can't get none of our reparations, considering how she wasn't even here. And she's living in a whole other country. How could it ever be divisive? You ain't got to end on this, man.
Eradicating illiteracy and debt cancellation, to name a few. CARICOM has sent letters requesting reparations from countries like Spain, France, Britain, and the Netherlands.
The response was negative for the most part. No country admitted to the wrong, no country took responsibility, no country apologized, no country committed to repair.
Today, we're still living with the legacies of colonialism and enslavement that have left Black populations across the globe at a disadvantage.
There is definitely a case that can be made that there has been a global pattern of exploitation of people of African descent.
We're here to demand what's owed to us from the United States government.
And despite incremental progress and different approaches to reparations programs, people across the Americas continue to fight for redress.
Right now, this is a contentious issue. It's affecting relationships, world relationships, global relationships, country versus country disputes exist. I think reparatory justice would help the society to heal itself. Both people of African descent, African people, and European people. I think it will be good and beneficial to all of us.
Reparations! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Reparations! When do we want it? Now! How do we want it?
Oh, boy, that lady's something else, ain't she? Now, here's the whole thing, because this is what they know about foundational Black Americans. We tend to fight. The revolutionary spirit is here. You know, it is within us. We you know, I don't know why anybody would think any different. Some people seem to think strategy means like docile or something. No, not everything needs to be telegraphed. Sometimes, and here's one thing about, you know, Gil Scott Heron. I know some of y'all probably weren't ever paying attention to what the hell he was actually saying, because you guys usually just listen to the part where it says, the revolution will not be televised. Revolution will not be televised. Well, the reason why the revolution will not be televised, why, brother? Because the revolution, brother, starts in the mind. So if you are not provoking new thought, you cannot get anyone to a new place. You can get them on the treadmill or the hamster wheel and get them to run around in circles and circles, but that is not my agenda. That might be yours or someone else's. But, you know, we are just looking at the overall tribe, which ultimately is the overall nation. And we have been in the situation where some of our people believe that you can just achieve anything as long as you are ready to subscribe to Mandatory's manumission. And that means always putting them ahead of anyone who looks like you. Anytime you can portray one who looks like you, then you might even win your freedom that way. Ain't that something? You actually literally could win freedom by turning on your own. Now, with that being said, this woman here that you see down here on the left, and also in that dress, she also posted the little piece that's on the right. Oh, Lord. Let's see what she did, though. So, this demo shield here, get this on the screen. This is what she did today, or whatnot. Well, I guess this is kind of recent. So, this woman here who is looking for some kind of recognition for whatever reason, which I say would be the whole Democrat gender warring line, and then considering how Ketanji is, kind of being questioned and being put through the ringer about her lack of convictions, because there's people who have not went to prison at all under her for touching children, situations around it. So these people are getting little time, but I've seen people in my city from 2000, the protesting through 2020, get more time for throwing a Molotov cocktail that didn't hit anyone. So, but a lot of people are saying, well, you guys are just you hating black women because you're not celebrating. You don't like her because she's with this white man. Well, like I broke down Ketanji Brown Jackson here on this broadcast before, and what I told you when she was in her confirmation, she does not speak as if she is a black person. She speaks in reference as if she is something else. And so she could tell you what black people think and how black people view the justice system, but she can't tell you if there's racial disparities in the justice system, and she cannot describe what a woman is. But she can tell them all about us not wanting to take responsibility for our actions, and because every black person that's been involved with the system is clearly a criminal. Well, this brother here, Gumbo Poppy, which, by the way, this is amongst quite a few photos of him and his wife and their daughter. And his wife is pregnant, by the way, when they're taking these pictures. Well, this woman down here, who clearly is a plantation mammy, this is all the way from, what is that, September 27th, last year. And so she waits to come out there and get her some smoke and shine, right? He looks like a child molester. Protect our girls. Well, she has since proceeded to get her ass lambasted online. Deservedly so. Because she clearly had it coming. Because that was a sucker move. And that's what she is. She's a plantation mammy. And we finna get into the type of race play she's into, because she's one of those who was coming in here. And I was just peeping out how she was interacting with people. One of the things she said a few times, oh, I see you're triggered. Trigger. Don't nobody know you. Matter of fact, and so she was one. Somebody actually, before I came live, I ended up finding out. Wait, wrong thing, but I do need to get this. That she was on some black love stuff not too long ago. Now all of a sudden she's on some like Cynthia G stuff. How you make that type of flip? How'd that happen? You know, when people usually start changing their message so drastically, there's usually a reason. Isn't it? That's what I thought. Let's see here. Wait for this window to come up in just a minute. Queen Adia said, how does a child molester look? Some are doctors, teachers, nurses, EMTs, pastors, etc. So how do they look? She needs to hush and get some melanated kings locked up for life. Man, for real, because she's on some idiotic crap. Let me get this one here. I want to make sure I don't play the sound like that. Make sure I get that sound off there. So, family, let me show you who we talking about here. This is who we talking about. And you know, she's kind of one of them that don't know where she really belongs, but she gonna do whatever she can to get on. Feel me? Well, it gets playing it now. Now it acts like it want to freeze. Is that what's happening? I don't know why it stopped playing. Okay, try it again. See if it'll play. That's weird. All of a sudden it just froze and stopped playing. You said she's not even attractive? Well, you know. Yeah. And see, here's the picture. So you're going to say the brother looked like a child molester. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. It's like, that's just so disrespectful. But what these people are, you said, what is she doing? She was just dancing at some kind of function. I mean, so she's since she's hid her page, but you know what? I'll do this. I'm gonna stop sharing that because I actually got this. Okay, hold on, just bear with me 1 second, family. I still got this window left. Yes, I do. Cool. That here. So, yeah, you said that's dancing. So is she having a seizure, TJ? We say he's a handsome brother. Oh, y'all so cold. Oh, yeah. That's what I gotta play, y'all. All right. Let me get in here because we need to get the tales directly from a bad wench who's pushing this line. Where are we at? No, I got it. Yeah. Because I'm listening to this story like, word? People really feel this way? Is this it? Oh, I do have it in there. Cool. Nope, wrong one. Let me get this out of here. Hold on, family. Usually I like marking them because, you know, when you download some stuff, then it downloads with the title, but unfortunately this did not. Okay, peep this. Come on. There we go. Let me make sure. I'm going to turn the sound down. But this is the woman who has so much to say. She's, she's one of the type of black women. She was calling black men super predators. She obviously has either a fat check that she has to live up for and deliver, or she has really triggered daddy issues or whatnot. But one thing I did notice about this woman right there, that this was something that was kind of just sticking out to me. I'm like, nah, this just that look right there, family. If MK Ultra was a person, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know for certain. I'm just saying, if with people took them looks, you know what I mean? Just take a glance. So take a good look. Does she look like she date black men to you? Does she look like she date black men to you? She look a little tired though, but I mean, does she look like she date black men to you? Let's get that cucumber mask, boy. So she's out here basically calling black men super predators or whatnot. And you know, it is what it is. Yeah. So she is the same woman who is saying that this brother looks like a child molester to his own child while he's on a photo shoot with him, his wife, and their child to be doing the family photo thing. And this is how I guess she felt that she was going to get herself some little cheesy clout. And so, you know, there she is, ladies and gentlemen. This woman who is the picture of something. So, you know, she obviously has an issue with black men now because there's other pictures that have surfaced with her, you know, being around black men. But, you know, truth be told, there are some people that just feel different ways with inside themselves. And I think she kind of sees herself like this.
Fried chicken day. Organic chicken, beans, many sorry chicken, and the ingredients: avocado oil, sorry seasoning salt, organic pepper, organic paprika. For later, red hot sauce, you know it. So, really important, first, one of the most important things if you're gonna cook fried chicken is you gotta clean it first. So I've already cleaned some, but I got organic chicken. And I'm sorry, chicken. We're gonna eat you today. But I'm gonna make my mom's famous fried chicken. We'll get to just clean it with some cold water, and then we'll get to frying it. So now we put the organic flour into a Ziploc bag, and you start our batches. So just put it in a whole bunch of chicken.
Now, how y'all wash y'all chicken, family? Y'all put a 1 in the chat if that's how y'all wash y'all chicken, because I want to know where I ain't eating it. Yeah, y'all watch y'all chicken like that? Yeah, just let me know because I just want to know I ain't where I'm not eating. Oh, who made that? Oh, okay, right on.
Chicken. Not too much so it coats it. And you start to like move it around. Okay, because you got to coat that chicken with the flour. And that is step 2. So we now have 138 chicken wings, which is about, what was that, 16 pounds of chicken. So we're gonna have a moment to bless these chickens. Thank you for your life. I'm sorry we had to take it. You're so yummy. Thank you. Okay, so that is the end. I got all of them in here. This is for Julian's school. And we're gonna put a lot of love into these chickens. Next is avocado oil in the pan. All right, so we gotta get a good amount, but not too much, right? You don't want to soak them in the my fried chicken. I fry them half in the oil, and then I flip them and then I put the other half of the drumette in. So you'll see. We are about to enter step 3. Okay, so a little cooking tip. This is how I know that the grease is hot enough and ready for the chicken, is I take a little bit of the powder, like this, or the flour, and go like that. Not ready. You see that? It's not doing the bubble.
You check your grease with a little bit of the powder, flour. No, one good quality way, and you trust me, don't overdo it. But just if you had a little bit of water on your hand and just had just a little bit, just a tiny little drop, and just the grease is hot. Powder. Jeez, man. Woo!
Bubble. So we gotta wait a little longer. I'll be back. So I think it's gonna be ready now. Let's see. Look it. Come look. So it's doing what we need it to do. Boom. Nice and little fry. Okay, let's go. All right, so let's start with our first bag. And we're gonna put these in here. Yeah, and ooh, that's how you know it's good. That's how you know it's good. We're good now. Okay. Now place these in. And then we're gonna begin to season it. So just wait. I think we're on this step 3? No, this is step 4. We're on step 4. Okay. Now the next process, step 5, is the seasoning. So it's just 3 ingredients that I use for seasoning these fried chicken. My mother's recipe, so it's Lari seasoning salt, very important. Pepper, organic pepper. Paprika, organic. I try to do organic when I can. And if you can't, no big deal. We just do the best that we can. All right. So I start to dust it with the Lari salt, right? Each chicken gets enough, maybe a little too much, because I like it a little salty.
This has got to be the craziest recipe of chicken frying I have ever seen. First off, you're cooking fried chicken in avocado oil. Then you putting the seasoning in the oil. I'm so confused. And this is how you grew up eating fried chicken? When did you actually really eat fried chicken then? When was your first time actually eating fried chicken? Because that ain't what this is. This is something else. But I do understand that you believe that you were grown up eating fried chicken. This is chicken that is fried, but that ain't what this is. And on top of that, you need to wash your damn meat.
Okay, each chicken getting a nice little dose of pepper. And we give it some paprika. All right, we'll lead to the next step now. Look, that's a good color. Because I'll probably flip it again, because I want this side to get all of the spices that the other side got, right? So I'm gonna flip it. All right, so now we repeat. Okay, so these chickens are ready to go. Look at, they look pretty, they're brown, they got a little crispiness on it. And now, okay, I should have shown you, put down some paper towels to soak up the grease. Right. That look good, that is perfect. And so then that becomes the chicken that I get to eat and taste. But this is gonna be pretty hot, but.
Did she say that was done?
Perfect. And so then that becomes the chicken that I get to eat and taste. But this is gonna be pretty hot, but
You might want to double fry that, sis.
Very good. Yay. So that's Friday fried chicken.
I'm rubbing on, rubbing in, you scared, got a red boy, I'm drunk. I'm ready, right? I'm on cool, I guess the wife. New sheets, he sweated, I like wash Rexy, with a boy, I'm drunk. I'm sorry. On the mic to my boy toys, that I beat a toddler, halfway, and why do we myself fun? So
she's drunk and yuck. Drunk and yuck. Oh my goodness. Mama, do not let your babies grow up to fry chicken like that. Oh my goodness. Like I said, that sister, she trying to bring out her inner Paula Patton all of a sudden. Which it's a business ploy, but it's also, a lot of these women do aspire to be bad wenches. You got to understand that. And you know, some of the people coming, they want to be drunk in love with Zaddy. We be all night. Y'all want to hear some more of that? Drunk in love.
grinding on the wood, grinding on the wood, and swabbing on that big body, and sobbing all this, swabbing all this good. We walk up in the kitchen, sing town, and how they dish, she have find out, baby.
Lord. All right. We be all night. Oh, boy. All right. So we have to talk about this other thing that has happened and has been part of, unfortunately, part of our culture for too long. It's called the Quadroon Ball. The Aboriginal woman said stop. Right. So, like, yes, they are divorced now. But I guess she still wants to, maybe she's trying to push back over to the, hey, big head, I can still fry chicken black card part. I don't know. I don't know who's coming for that. But the organic wings, though, yeah, but you got to wash that chicken. Just, maybe a little bit of salt and vinegar, then some water. And you got to get your hands in there and wash it off there. Because I do understand what the CDC does say, but I mean, again, that is just also the same group of people that literally have to be told how to wash their own damn hands. So, I mean, would you really be taking cooking advice from somebody who needs to be told to wash their hands? No, thank you. I'll be washing my chicken. I'll definitely wash a turkey. I mean, these people are like, don't wash your turkey. Are you out of your skull? Don't wash your turkey. I get goat from the Caribbean spot. We making curry goat, right? Guess what I'm gonna do with that meat? That is gonna get in the big old thing and go through a few rinses of some salt and vinegar water. Maybe even salt, vinegar, and lemon water. Get all of that in. Then you ain't even starting to season your food until after you done washed it a couple times. That water ain't, because you gonna rinse that over. Man, you know how murky that water would be if she put that chicken in a bucket or in a bowl. Then she'd be able to really see, like, ooh, this chicken wasn't clean at all. Good Lord. Well, you said omitted. I can't even pronounce that, but yeah, what you said, Shawana S. Oh man, that's that chicken you eat just like about a half hour later. It's like, I don't feel so good. I just need to go lay down. What's wrong with you? That's that kind of chicken. I don't know what's wrong. She had hairy, undone chicken. Man, I'm like, that chicken is not done. So you didn't wash it, and on top of that, you didn't cook it all the way through. I'm cool. Like I said, anybody in my chat wash their chicken like that, let me know. Because I ain't coming for dinner. No, we ain't making it. We will have to take a pass. But thank you. Thank you for the offer. Oh, man, suddenly my wife just came down. Man, you know, the funniest thing, she just got sick. All of a sudden. Man, man, imagine that, man. Timing. Man, maybe next time, y'all. So, so check this out. This is a piece going into the Quadroon Ball. And I'm going to play a little bit of this, but then I'm going to get into the author of critical race theory. And we're going to because everybody else has had their piece on him. We going to let that man speak for himself tonight, as I often have our elders do here on this broadcast. So, you know, also got to play, one more thing in between this and then that. Because there's a message from one of our elders from beyond the spirit realm that the family needs to ingest tonight. So check this Quadroon Ball stuff out.
For doing right. Doing right, after all, is what this life is all about.
Product of the Quadroon
Now
Ball.
for our Pause for Pride segment, which today is filled with elegance. The story centers around the Quadroon Balls, and Genevieve Stewart recently visited a hotel in New Orleans where some of the balls are believed to have taken place.
The Bourbon Orleans Hotel in New Orleans' French Quarter is a National Historic Landmark. These elegant walls house the famous Orleans Ballroom, site of the balls for New Orleans' gentried Old Guard society from 1800 to the Civil War. The famous Orleans Ballroom also had a rather infamous reputation as the site of the legendary, highly romanticized, much whispered about Quadroon Balls, or Les Ballets de Cordon Bleu. The Orleans Ballroom, its official name, was built at the turn of the century by John Davies, who spared no cost to construction. It was unparalleled as one of the great buildings of the day, Among its fine points were 2 wooden subfloors, hand-carved cypress wood moldings, imported crystal chandeliers from France, and its double descending staircase, which ladies in flowing gowns especially admired. The socially prominent held elegant balls here of every description, including the Quadroon Balls. Legend has it that the Quadroon Balls are where wealthy young blades of the period came to form romantic liaisons with mistresses of color. Polite society of the period pretended balls didn't exist. Historians did not document them, and among Creoles of color, they were mentioned but only in the most hushed of tones. But legend also has it that more duels were fought over the beautiful Quadroon women met at the balls than for any other reason. The Quadroon Balls were so named after the women who attended. Quadroon loosely means 1/4 black blood. Clive Hardy, archivist at the University of New Orleans, conducted research on the Quadroon Balls and clarified the term quadroon.
Well, that's mixed race, 4 parts. I mean, that you had many gradations there. You had octoroons, quadroons, mulattoes, griffs, and I don't remember all of the terms, but it all had to do with what gradation of skin color a person had. And there are about a dozen different gradations there that I'm sure people who were very sensitive to those things could say that's a griff, or that's a mulatto, or what have you. It just meant somebody of mixed race of so many parts.
French and Spanish Creoles, although they owned slaves, were liberal in their racial attitudes. This began changing by the 1820s, which coincided the advent of the Quadroon Balls.
As racism becomes an issue, you find the Creoles beginning to, well, they were frightened by the implications that the Anglos brought with them. And I think many of them began to shy from any association with their fellow Creoles who were black. And this becomes more and more apparent. I think you see symptoms of this early in the, well, for example, St. Louis No. 2, which was founded, I think, in 1818, 1820 in there. You see for the first time one section of that cemetery, it consists of 3 squares, one section is set aside for blacks or Creoles. And this probably comes about, up to that time, there had been no distinction. There are black Creoles, there are blacks, and there are whites buried in St. Louis 1, and probably in all of the other unknown cemeteries that are now long gone, what few there were. But probably what is happening already is that the church begins to feel the pressure of the Anglo-Saxon and his attitudes as they come in greater and greater numbers. And by 1820, it's becoming something of a problem for everybody concerned, primarily because the Anglo-Saxon takes a very dim view of any contact with blacks other than as a slave or as a menial. And that's where the problem begins.
Thus, the Quadroon Balls were considered highly clandestine meetings. This merely served to heighten the romanticized rumors about these liaisons between white men and free women of color.
The Quadroon Balls were held here as this town was a dancing town. People loved to dance, they loved music, but especially they loved to dance. That's one reason why this building was so popular in its early years, because they had balls continuously, night after night. And if it wasn't here, it was somewhere else. And these were often subscription balls. You paid 50 cents or you paid $1, depending on how classy it might be, and you could be permitted in. And I'm sure that some of them were very elegant balls, well-dressed gentlemen, and ladies.
Are y'all paying attention? So, what y'all are recognizing, there's a history. This thing has a history. The pattern of behavior that they're talking about, Only difference is these women no longer have to pass. They're coming just as dark skinned as that woman is, and like, oh, we can get in where we fit in now too. So what you're seeing is a new generation of these quadroon ball fantasies out of these women who would not be considered to be octoroons traditionally. Clearly not outwardly. But we're seeing now more and more some of these inner octoroons and quadroons. I say inner because it's on the inside. They are definitely speaking for themselves nowadays. And another thing that they are starting to lose. This is why they are attacking us. We are threatening their access to Zaddy. Zaddy already's got a contention plan, though. That is black women. Especially you descendants of slaves. Notice how they made it real generally black. There's no this particular black woman, this particular black woman. See, what that dude was talking about, educated and educated and educated. Now they're just saying umbrella black. Forget if you don't have a degree. All you need to do is aspire to land one of these good old white boys. You might be able to get with one of them DJ dudes like that dude in North Carolina or South Carolina, wherever the hell he was from, that infected all of them women. You know, you might be as lucky as that. He said he got 600 bodies plus. There's a whole lot of women that went over there and got that package from there living out their Quadroon Ball Fantasy. Then you have the sister over there. Because what these women tend to do, like this other sister that got herself killed out there in Massachusetts, she had the same attitude as this sister right here. They're saying, oh, this brother looks like a child molester. See, when you get killed by Zaddy and then your family, first thing they do is start calling the grassroots folk. Hitting the grassroots, my family. Oh, man, can y'all boost this? We've been supporters of the B1 for a minute, man, this thing happened over here. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. Here's one thing. When you ask men and women who willfully give their lives for the love of this thing, it's kind of hard to put your neck on the line for somebody to whom, if they were breathing, would be advocating for your destruction. But because what you thought was better destroyed you, your family comes to us and says, can you get my family some attention and help us get justice? Here's where the educational part comes in. When you pay attention to what's going on, then you're learning instead of falling into the endless cycles of return. So I think I've pretty much shown you all I wanted to show you about this. Because, what it was is basically, like I said, everything is kind of steeped off of slavery. So that whole Sally Hemings thing is exactly what they are selling you now. Difference is what they sell it now is you can get above and ahead success. You can get success if you are looking to date outside of your community. Do not look to build your community. That's still the same manumission type mindset that existed then from a woman who was born in 1985. Just like a racist was born in 1985. Kyle Rittenhouse is just, 18? Yeah, America is a white supremacist factory. So is Ukraine. And so you got Negroes out here talking about how bad other black folks are. I'm seeing something now, though I'm glad that I'm seeing it, which is I'm seeing this sudden move to defend the honor of black men, which is cool. I don't really have no problem with that. Oh, y'all didn't tell me I didn't get all my hair in my ponytail. Okay, y'all just left me with this, just hanging out, huh? So anyway, to protect, defend black men. Here's my thing for that. We need to understand we need to definitely protect each other. You know what I'm saying? Let's not just let things be cliche. I would never have to put anybody on blast that has ever used my name unrightfully. So, with that being said, I hope people can take lessons from past mistakes and learn how much beneficial it could be when you understand the value of loyalty. Disloyalty will always show itself, but it shows itself in subtle ways, not major ways. So if you've ever seen your name in a title of mine, then I guess you could say, well, hey, you're being a hypocrite if you see me now advocating for exactly the opposite of what my own actions were. That being the case, I'm not in that situation. I could really be going ham and going hard at some folks if I gave a damn to do so. But relevance to me matters. So if it's not relevant to me, because here's one thing I will say this sister did get straight about what she said. A lot of that stuff that can happen on Twitter will never fly on YouTube. One of the reasons is because you have to get on camera and stand on what you say. And no, everybody won't get out there and get on this camera and be able to stand on it, because you got to be able to think on your feet. And here we have the court of intelligent opinion, intelligent insight. This is a content platform, not a comment platform, but a content platform. Yeah, I can play something, but you're going to get educated about what it means. You understand what I'm saying? And I get, other people have different agendas. My agenda is legitimately about the people. One of the things when you're about the people who are actually about what you're about would actually know who you are. Guess what doesn't matter? All the irrelevant eyes and ears to the mission, which are, I would say, the people who are around but not necessarily supporters. As a musician and a lifelong working musician, I totally understand the difference of what people say when they can be seen doing something, and for the people that have to come support when you're on stage. Truth of the matter is, people who could, prime example, let me tell you, Sunday, I'm in the car. I had to take a lift, right? Because I'm by myself. So I took a lift. And on the way back, this woman starts, literally, she ends up of course, talking about music. Because people always ask me, because they look at one of my emails, the email I use, and like, hey, what's this? So it's like, yeah, I'm a musician. Oh, well, I know this person. Mm-hmm. Oh, all of them. That one, actually my band. It's like, yeah, I'm this person. So when you talk to such and such, just tell them you have me in your car. I was at one of my local stores. And these are white folk. But see, white folks fool with black music. Here's the situation. That's what I'm just giving you a true, honest situation and scenario. I know the difference between when people can be seen with you and for the difference for the people who will come to see you. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So you can get a gang of people to follow you in one space as long as they can be visible with you. That'll work. What the true test of what your word or message is, can it stand outside of that and you still have their attention, eyes, ears focused on you? That's what will separate the commenters from the new black media voices. And I know there are those who would choose to want to creep in through the back gate. But it shan't be so. You messing with a real true revolutionary over here? I don't have to play no games, and I don't have to sit up here and tell you what I've done. I do not have to tell you what I do. Because to me, that would be foolish because you're the one who hasn't been proven. I could ask you, where were you here? Where were you there? Where were you here then, and this date? And when you wasn't, now you asking me, what am I doing now that you just woke up 2 days ago? Thank you. Family, let's hear something from our elder. And I want you to ingest this question that this man says to him and this brother's answer. He asks, what are you doing to help this case? And this is the same question that everybody gets up on this damn YouTube asking other black folks. What you doing? Won't you tell me? Listen for our brother's response.